Shalom. My name is Liz McGee with the Elect Life Ministries, and I'm going to talk a little bit. I want to, again, go into the metaphysical understanding or a spiritual understanding. We're going to use allegory about our relationship with the Father. So I'm going to screen share something. Let's just get all set up here. Let's read in the kind of coral box right here. And it says, in physical reality, every move we make is dependent upon electromagnetic energy. I mean, they're understanding this, the electromagnetic world we live in. These metaphysical realms, according to the Torah, are called angelic or demonic. So one of the things we have to understand, rose is still a rose. It doesn't matter what you call it. But when it does say in the Torah that we are all going to come back to a pure language, a common language, it will be Hebrew, but it will be one understanding. So in other words, science is going to call it electromagnetic, and then we got angelic and demonic over here in theology, and there's no way. It's like, how do you combine the two? Well, we do combine it with understanding, but we're going to go back to using it in its Hebraic understanding. That being said, so angels are demons, right? So let's demystify this. We are talking on the level of laws that operate up and down, from spirituality into physicality. We just think the only laws of nature are the 5 laws of thermodynamics, but no, there's much more going on. So anyways, this is what our Torah is saying. So every move we make, whether it be a thought, an emotion, or a deed, which is equated to and basically in our body, our soul, and our spirit, our triune nature, is supported by an angel or a demon, which means, I'll get to that. These metaphysical magnets, they're called the elemental spirits associated with the heavens, are called angels. And those with satanic energies are called demons. So really you have positive energy and negative energy. And most people understand today, right? If you want to live in a world of satanic energies, right? Of hatred and bitterness and fear and anxiety and worry, go for it. But that's what you're gonna live a life full of demons, okay? It's the saying. These are intelligent. They are a self-aware personifications of the various vibrations and energies in the cosmos, visible and invisible. See, people, you gotta understand our Torah, nothing, in the final analysis, there's nothing under the sun that has not already been covered in our Torah. We're the ones who lost the keys at getting down to all these levels, all right? It's always been there. But what we need to really understand is how to decipher the Torah using, going back and forth between, a physical, is it physical in the physical? Is it in the body? Or is it in the spirit? Or is it in the soul? There are these 3 parts of us. We have to, and so this is what I'm saying. Christians, we never understood where they were putting, or in the Torah, like say all the psychological or the intellectual parts. The body is pretty easy to figure out physicality, okay? Very obvious things. But when it gets into the deeper, I'm getting off in the weeds. We're not going to go there. What I want to explain to you here, we are made up of a body, a soul, and a spirit. And the Torah covers all these in depth. In the body, it's referred to as this land of physicality. See, yes, there is a physical land out there. Nobody's denying that. But what it does is when we go into our bodies and we're allegorizing this in using our body in its spiritual context, the land, our physicality becomes the land, the earth, that plane, everything to do with that. All right. And the cell, turns out, is the basic building block of all life. And the cell is very much known and understood in its function in the larger scheme of things. And it is known as like a city, or it's called a stone. All right. So these things, very small things like building blocks. Okay. A small city or a small stone that is part. And yes, there. Okay. So let me just stop there. But in the Hebrew, it's very important to understand this we talk in English, fine, the land, but it's important to begin to understand there are Hebrew words already that describe this thing. It is the world of Asiyah. And in the Hebrew, the word for our body is this word nephesh, which is very important to understand what its ramifications are and when it is used. I say you should always check your translation to find out what Hebrew word is really at the root of that translation, because it makes a huge difference in our understanding, if that's what you want. If truth is what you want. Now, the soul, okay, and this is the big caveat. A lot of times in Christianity, we're not as clear on this one because we don't, between the soul and the spirit, we get very confused and mixed up, and they even do in the translations. But Hebraically, the soul is known as our emotional level, our psychological, the part of us that is not sometimes just not even rational sometimes. It's the feelings, our memories. That is called our soul, and it is called the ruach. In Hebrew, it is this word ruach. So the ruach, I want to say this right away. It's a very important word to really figure out what it's talking about. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. You're going to get confused. All right. The Hebrew is so precise. All right. If you want to get lost, fine. Just keep reading translations. But if you want to get on a solid foundation that will not move, again, get back to these Hebrews understanding. Soul is ruach. Now, there is a ruach with a capital R, the Ruach HaKodesh, the original perfect Holy Spirit, so to speak. Okay, but in ourselves, this level is called a small r. It is a ruach. It is our emotional level, and it's referred to. Okay, so the body is referred to as land, dry ground. The soul is referred to as the sea. So you got to see how they're constantly moving in and out of these metaphors, but they're already established. Don't make it up, Christian. The sea, remember, and all rivers run into the sea. This idea of the sea is this, and water is very much. Remember, we're told that we are as unstable as water. What's as unstable as water? Our emotions, our moods, they change all the time. Okay, so that's a very important principle. It's established, and we need to, Christian, you need to make a lot of correction in this area. I'm just saying, been there, done that, and it would behoove us. As Mashiach comes, the more oil we have in our lamp, the better we are, position we are when the bridegroom comes. So then we have the spirit. See, again, because they're different Hebrew words. The spirit is best equated with our intellectual, our mind, right? So I said we're a body, soul, and a spirit. It should be body, soul, and mind. Maybe people could understand that better. But the spirit, that God is spirit. He is intellect, right? He has, he doesn't have a body. And while I do believe there is a soul, he is in the sense, but it is his spirit and it's his intellect. All right. Now in the Torah, is that, like I said, the body is equated with land. That's physicality. The soul or emotions is like the sea. And sometimes it's calm, but sometimes it's really churned up. But the spirit is equated with our intellect, and it is our mind, and these are our thoughts, and this is where trees come in. Remember, there are two trees planted in the garden, because trees have at their height, they're the highest thing in the plant animal kingdom, and their leaves and their great height and their roots with their deep root system. This is very important in terms of a metaphor to understand the mind. You can have. Okay, so trees is and it is in the world of Berea, which is that's probably a later teaching. That's a more advanced teaching. The Asiyah, Yetzirah, and the Berea. Those, but the Neshama. This is a word. It says when Adonai breathed into Adam and Adam received the breath of life. It is this word of spirit, which is this word neshama. It is breath. In other words, Adam, when you read the totality, you find Adam was the only thing created in which Yah physically or literally, in an allegory, breathed his spirit, himself, into this Adamic man, to Adam. So Adam is the only one who has this neshama level, this breath level. I look at like a computer program. He had everything. He had Windows 25, whatever, where just every operating system there was known. All right. And he was on all cylinders operating. So, but what we need to understand is the Torah this is what it's really talking about. So in Torah Hebraic understanding, they have what they call the Peshat level, which is a very fundamentalist level. Like, Abraham was 70 years old or somebody, but there's deeper levels. Like 70 is a much deeper understanding number. How do I explain this? So you just have to take the literalness, but you don't stop there, because the meat of the word, the pearl that's in the word, the depth in the word, the secret in the world, all these, the hiddenness, the prophecy, all these things that are deep in the world are not on that surface level, right? I mean, look at our skin. You could look at my skin, and as I said, it's only skin deep, but all the action is really on the inside, between my intellect, my mind, right, and my soul, my emotional life. So I thought that helped you, because one of the things I want to say, we have to stop being cowards anymore. Okay? Cowards do not inherit the kingdom of heaven. There's a verse that says that. Because our Torah does cover everything. All things pertaining to life and godliness, knowledge, physical knowledge, sciences, the psychology. They didn't discover anything new. Actually, Freud got all of his psychology understanding from the deeper Jewish mystical teachings. Okay, so these things have been known. We need to understand. We need to go back to our ancient paths. That means the way the ancients. So instead of call them angels and demons, but understand what they are. Their intelligence. We don't have to make these little kindergarten understandings. Okay, there's no difference so that when you talk about electromagnetic, why do you think? Okay, light, magnetic. What it moves on. I mean, there are so many comparisons here. There is no difference between how you program and build on a computer, all these things. I hope that blessed you. I'm going to be back. This is going to be a series I'm doing on metaphysics, where I'm trying to explain how, I just want to end with this, that we can be brave and have a good courage, because our Torah does talk on these high levels. Okay. This quote up here from Nachamites says, "You shall always remember the name of Yahweh, Yod He Vav He, and his love. Your thought shall not detach itself from him during your journey on the road, your spiritual life." So it's talking about when you lie down, when you get up, and to the extent that verbally you shall be in contact with people, but your heart shall always be for God. So this body, the soul, and spirit is wired to be in connection with the high God at all times and under all circumstances. So, shalom. Bless you.